Hello, my name is John Green. I'm the manager of the Swindon Swoodilypoopers, and in a stunning turn of events, it's raining in England. I can't believe it. We are back in the English Premier League where, story of stories, we are in fifth. We are fifth place in the English Premier League, and today we're taking on West Ham. They're better than us on paper, but we are ahead of them in the league, so we should win this game. We need to find a way to win this game because we need to get into the top four. Chris Mumple is our referee. We need to get into the top four. We're starting both John Green and John Green teammates in life and in love up front, as well as Leroy Williamson. We've reached the point in the season where the players start to get tired after every game, which means I have to do like lots and lots of substitutions between each game. And also, I don't know. I picked up 4 players in the last year. You'll remember that last season we were in such a bad. We were in such a bad way that on several occasions we had to start both goalies in the midfield in order to rest the rest of our players. Hopefully, we will not be put in that situation again. But I can't make any promises at the moment because it looks like things are a little problematic. Oh, look at beautiful ball, John Green. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to write a college essay. I'm a writer. It's kind of what I do for a living, but I don't know how to write. I don't know how to write a good college essay because I will tell you the truth, which is that I wrote a terrible one. I wrote a college essay that was so bad that I can't even bring myself to tell you what it was about. Here's what I would say: write in your college essay. The first and most important thing is that you need to write well. The number one, they're not really judging you on the quality of your character, although I do think that's important. I mean, they usually ask you to talk about a significant experience or whatever, and I think that's it's got to be, and it isn't. Ball John Green, all you had to do was put it in the back of the net. It's disappointing. It's really, really disappointing to see that. That was kind of devastating. He's a finisher, too, so I'm surprised that he failed to finish. But at least Leroy Williamson made a great tackle there, and we're on the move again. Oh, but we're dispossessed. So I do think colleges certainly care about whether you're a nice person and you'll do a good whether you've had interesting experiences and everything. But the thing that they most care about is whether you can write a sentence. Which turns out to be a surprisingly rare gift these days. And so the number one thing I would say is find a mentor who writes pretty well, a teacher or a parent maybe, who has some writing experience. I don't mean necessarily like fiction writing experience, but whether they write reports at work or read a lot of writing or whatever it is, and ask them to give you some really honest feedback. The second thing I would say is that even though it is a short piece of writing, you need to spend some time on it. And you need to rewrite it a lot, and you need to be willing. Oh, I was offside. I apologize to my friends and family. And you need to be willing in the rewriting process to abandon a lot of the things you like. The stuff that you may think makes your college essay stand out from the crowd because it's written so prettily or whatever may be the very stuff that looks overwritten and purple prosy and like exactly like what colleges don't want to read. So listen to the people in your life who are giving you feedback. So both solicit that feedback and then take that feedback seriously. I'm a big believer. I know sometimes it can be frustrating and even hurtful to listen to feedback. So-called constructive criticism often does not feel particularly constructive because what of course every writer of everything in all of human history wants to hear is, you have just written the greatest college essay in the history of humanity. Congratulations. Put down your pen and accept your entrance into Harvard. But that's rarely the case, right? I mean, the truth is that well, it's never the case actually, because you don't know how to write. Like you aren't born knowing how to write, and even if it's a 500 or 1,000 word essay, you don't the first 500 or 1,000 words you write will never be the best possible 500 or 1,000 words. So be patient with yourself and allow yourself, give yourself the gift of rewriting. I really believe that's where it's not always where the fun is, I suppose, but it is where the meat of the work is. We've got to shoot in that situation. Oh, how did we not get a goal? It's frustration for the Swoodilypoopers here at the end of the first half. So then in the second half, I'll talk a little bit about subject matter. But the most important thing I think is really writing well, and by that I mean writing clear. You've just got to get it down. I don't understand. I don't understand at all. I'm switching. I'm baffled. I'm switching, you guys. Boy, we are really tired. Escargot is like, Escar ain't gonna go no more. So but you know, talking about good writing is difficult. But mainly what I mean when I talk about good writing is clear writing. And the question that you should be, or one of the questions at least that you should be asking your mentors in the college essay writing. There's a goal finally. Ball John Green to other John Green. John Green's ball, another John Green's. They love each other and they love our team. Actually, that was the Red Power Granger who brought in that beautiful cross. I just needed to switch Ball John Green and other John Green because Ball John Green ain't in the mood for finishing, and other John Green clearly is. Fantastic unnecessary slide tackle there from other John Green. Really beautiful stuff. Oh, come on. Am I crazy, or has it been at the 45-minute level for like 45 minutes? This is a weird half. There we go. It's halftime finally. Congratulations to the boys, though. That's great stuff. Got a nice goal at the end of the half, going in with a 1-0 lead, just like we like to. Sorry about my cold, by the way. I got the snuffleupaguses. So yeah, what I mean when I talk about good writing is primarily clear writing. The point of writing, at least as I see it, is to use text to create in the mind of the reader, in the clearest, most transparent way possible, the ideas that you are trying to convey. So you know that's the reason we don't use dangling participles. The reason we try not to use the passive voice. The reason for all of these things is not that they are like. Or it's not that they are arbitrary rules that were created to annoy you. The reason for them is because they make what you're trying to say less clear, and they make it so that the reader of your writing is aware of and conscious of. It's like having to work in order to understand your ideas. Well, no one. That's not what we want. We want people to be. In the same way, all communication is like this, right? Like what we want is we want people to be clear about what we're saying. So yeah, that's what I would. That's come on, Ball John Green just has not had himself a game. I'm gonna have to make some substitutions. There's widespread exhaustion on this club right now. Oh yeah, look at that. Although Escargot recovered a little bit during halftime, I'm going to take out... Oh, that's other John Green. I got to leave him in because he's playing really well. But I'm going to take out Leroy Williamson. He does score occasionally, but I'm going to bring in Merrick. And I think I'm going to take out Ginger Rampage here and bring in One Size Fits All. One Size Fits All has had a fascinating season when you think about it, because here's a guy who's really, played really was really the player of our team last year. I mean, it was our first year in the Premier League, and he was our leading scorer, even though he's a central defender, and he was also a stalwart in the back. And his role at the club has really changed this year. But what I admire most about One Size Fits All is that even though he's only had 1 or 2 goals this season, and he's certainly probably not going to be voted the MVP by the fans the way that he was last year. The guy has just. He's taken it all with total class, and he's really proud. Oh, it is other John Green to Ball John Green. John Green's ball, another John Green's. They're the best forwards that Swindon Town has ever seen. Yes! Oh, that was great stuff. That was fantastic stuff. Just There's ball John Green finishing. That's how you get up and get down. Great stuff. Right. So we've talked about how it's important to be clear, but what should you be clear about is a completely different question. And I think, in my opinion at least, here's what you should be clear about. You should write about yourself in a way that is pleasantly self-deprecating, and but that also sort of does acknowledge and celebrate your passions, whatever they are, and tries to find a way to make it clear that those passions, whether they are constructed, tries to make it clear how those passions play into your life and the way that you imagine sort of meaning in your life, and that I know that's kind of a big ask, but that's the real work, is trying to make people understand why you're passionate about something, or if it's about an experience, why this experience was transformative for you, and the real challenge is to do it in a way. I always say that the best way to encourage empathy is to celebrate empathy. So I'm a big fan of trying to write about experiences that made you more empathetic, but trying to do it in a genuinely empathetic way. I will tell you what my college essay was about. It was about this very interesting experience I had when I was interning for a congresswoman, and I met this Haitian family that was trying to get their kid from Haiti to the United States, and two of their kids had come over, and one of their kids couldn't come over because he was like 18 or something when they got sponsored. It was very complicated immigration law stuff, and it was all about how I helped this family get their kid back to America. Well, first off, I didn't really help that much, and my essay would have been a lot better if I'd acknowledged that, if I had sort of playfully and humorously acknowledged the smallness of my role. Secondly, my essay was very overwrought and melodramatic. Well, if you're in a situation where, if you're talking about something where the stakes are clearly high, referee, why do you got to get in the middle of the game? Like a family trying to get their son to America. You don't need to write about that in a melodramatic, overwrought way, because the stakes are high, and we all know the stakes are high, and that is clear from the beginning. That was a foul inside the box. That was a penalty. That's clear from the beginning, right? So one of the great I think this is something that young writers often struggle with, and I know I did, is that you want people to understand the seriousness of something, so you write about it in a really kind of like overwrought way. But in fact, the best way for people to understand the seriousness of something is to write about it in a very, that was not a foul. Come on. Write about it in a very understated way, because and try to make the more powerful observations in small, subtle ways instead of banging people over the head with it. And that's what I didn't do a good job of in my college essay. So I would say, choose something that's important to you, but try to write about it in such a way that it makes it important to the reader, not that you're expressing over and over again how important it was to you, but find a way to make sure that readers will care. And often, in my opinion at least, that is best done through, that was not a foul, that was an ankle hug. That is best done through subtlety. When I was writing The Fault in Our Stars, I was writing about cancer. That's something that's very serious, but I tried to approach it with a lot of humor and understatement, because just saying over and over again how much cancer sucks isn't fun to read, and it also doesn't emphasize how much cancer sucks. So that's my advice. It's great to see my opponents grasp their knees in shame and bend over. Congratulations, context is everything, to the Swindon Town Swoodilypoopers on another great victory in the English Premier League. We could be in 4th place tomorrow morning. I'll give you an update soon. Best wishes.